In this video, I answer a customer's question where they asked, how would you create a part that's curved in two different directions without using surfacing? So let's take a look at an easy method. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the solution I provided the customer with their problem where they had a part that needed to be curved looking down from the top in this direction, but then also needed to be curved on the bottom of the part in this direction also, basically for some aesthetic reason. And they were tried using like the loft command, they didn't want to use surfacing, etc. So I'm going to show the method that I shared with the customer. We'll start by creating a new hybrid design. And like always, the first thing we want to do is create a new component. And I'll just call it demo in this case. And I'm going to draw on the front plane, kind of the front representation. So I'll use a center rectangle in this case. And I don't know the exact measurements, but for the total length, let's just do maybe like 32. And for the height, let's just do maybe 2 inches in this case. Then what I want to do is draw the curve along the bottom. So to do that, I'm going to use a 3-point arc. I'll pick my start point, I'll pick my end point, and then I'm just going to randomly pick somewhere like so. Then we'll dimension this distance here, which I want to be 1 inch. Now, I've shown this before, but this is a neat little trick. I'm going to click this edge here, and if I click this edge, I'm not going to get the result that I want. It's going to try and dimension to the center of that radius of that arc, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to pick that line, then I'm going to right mouse click, and sure enough, you can see it's trying to pick the circle or arc center, but we want to pick the circle or arc tangent. So I'll select tangent. Then when I get near this arc, you can kind of see that little X that appears. I'll go ahead and click, and now we're dimensioning from this horizontal line to the arc tangent of the arc. And so you can kind of see, I could even bring my dimension all the way out over here. And let's just make that 1 inch. And that controls the curvature of that arc. Now here's another tip. You'll notice because we drew a rectangle, we have 2 separate profiles that I'd have to extrude. Well, I could simplify that by just selecting this line and changing that to a construction line. And now we only have 1 profile. So when I say finish sketch, I can select in here. And again, only 1 profile. I don't have to select twice. Let's go ahead and extrude this. And I'll just say maybe like 24 inches, like so. And we now have the curve along the bottom of the part. The next thing I want to do is put the curve on the top of the part. So I'll pre-select the top face, right mouse click, and again, I really like this method because it shows me the commands that make sense. We can see I can create a sketch on that face, I could extrude that face, I could shell that face, but obviously in this case we want to create a sketch. And I'm going to project this geometry, this face here, because I want to catch to the edges. So I'm going to project that face. We can see the purple lines that appear. Then I'm going to use that 3-point arc again. And I'm just going to randomly pick some points. You'll notice when I get near this edge, it turns to an X, which means it's snapping to that edge. So I'm going to pick there. I'm going to purposely pick up a little bit like so, and you'll see why here in a second. And then again, I'm just going to randomly pick somewhere like here. Now, why did I do this? Well, I want to control this arc. So the first thing I'm going to do is say horizontal, vertical. I want these 2 points to be horizontal with each other. So I'm going to say that point and that point. and I could see them snap or move. And I could physically see that they are now horizontal with each other. Then I want this arc to be coincident with this point. So I'll say coincident, I'll pick on this arc, and I'll pick on that point right there, and we can see it snap down to that point. Now if I expand open my sketches, I can see that it still has the pencil icon, which means it's not fully constrained. And I can see that the line is still kind of blue. Well, I'll go ahead and drag on this point and I can see, oh, I can change the curvature or the height of this arc. So I'll go ahead and add a dimension from maybe this point here to this point here. And let's just make that 2 inches. And now if we expand this open, I can see that sure enough, my sketch is fully constrained by adding that dimension. We'll finish our sketch. And now we're left with this particular shape. Now there's a couple different ways we can create our final shape. A lot of you might select this profile here and then also control and select this profile here. Say extrude, start to drag down. How far do we want to go? Well, we don't know what the total distance is because it's curved. So we want to say go all the way through. So for my extent type, instead of distance, I'm going to say all. And we'll say, make sure it says cut. So it's using these profiles to cut that geometry away. And I'll say okay. And we end up with this particular shape. So that is one method. I'll go ahead and undo. The other method is to do the exact opposite. I'm going to select this profile, right mouse click, say extrude, start to drag. How far? We're going to say go all the way through. But instead of cut, I want to change this to intersect. And what intersect is going to do is it's going to keep whatever 3D geometry is inside the profile. So I'm going to say intersect, and you can see it's removing the stuff that's on the outside. So instead of having to select multiple profiles, I only had to select one. I'll say okay, and you'll notice we get the exact same result. So that's how you go about creating a shape like this without using the loft command that's curved in 2 different directions. And then all I have to do now is kind of finalize, add in maybe a couple fillets on the corner. I'll just do maybe a 3-inch fillet. And then maybe like a 1/4-inch fillet on the top and the bottom, like so. And there we go. And what's nice about using this method is you can now come in and make changes to the model very quickly and easily. So I'm going to go ahead and turn both of these sketches back on. And then if I right click on sketch 1, I can say show dimension. And it's going to turn on the dimensions that we used for the first sketch. And I'll do the same thing for sketch 2. I'm going to say show dimension. So now I could come in and, we could change the width from 32 to 48. It instantly updates. We could change this curvature on the top view. Let's go from maybe 2 inches to like 6. And you can see how that updated the curvature there. And then maybe we want to strengthen this curve here. So we'll change that 1 to 2. And again, you can visually see how this is updating. I'll turn my sketches off and how that model has updated just by driving changes to that sketch or sketches. So hopefully you learned something new using this method. Again, we didn't have to use the surfacing to create a couple different profiles and trim and extrude and all that kind of stuff. We just used regular modeling commands. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you've hit like and subscribe. That way you'll be notified of upcoming videos. If you'd like to learn more about Fusion, make sure you visit my webpage at cadedllc.com. And as always, have fun learning Fusion.